What up? How's everybody doing? Happy Saturday. Let me get my right ear in. Today is going to be a good day for me and for the stream. Every day's a good day, but today's especially good because I'm doing my first giveaway on this channel. The cam is back because the cam works when it wants to work. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Welcome in, Scar. Welcome in, everybody. Today, like I said, is a momentous occasion because I'm doing my first giveaway. And let me show you what I'm giving away, guys. I don't know how well you can see because my screen is very big. I have a full 4K screen. So right here, I have the C8X Pisces Red Festival Starter Pack, which I will be giving away. And the way I do giveaways is very simple. Okay, it's very simple. If you're watching this on Twitch, if you're watching this on YouTube, all you really have to do, okay, it's so simple. It's so simple when you guys get this. All you have to do is like this video, drop a comment. Just comment. Well, don't comment anything like stupid. Like just write a comment, right? Like why you like Star Citizen, something like that. And then I will generate a list of names. I will put it into a drawing, one of those drawing websites on a live stream, and we'll get a winner. It's that easy. And to show you how easy it is, once I reach out to you, I just come in here, I hit this button, and type in your name and your email address, and I send it to you. It's literally that easy. This is the easiest giveaway that you could ever enter, okay? And I will be giving the ship away when we reach 100 comments on this video. Not in the chat, but on the actual video itself. So comment on the video if you want, a free starter package. I know everybody that watches my stream doesn't play Star Citizen. Maybe they don't have the means to buy this game, and I just want to help somebody out, spread a little bit of cheer to somebody, and make somebody's day. But today, what we got going on is this. We're going to be checking out Inside Star Citizen. And I haven't watched this yet. So let's see what they got going on over here. And make sure you guys like the stream. Please, make sure you like it.
Star Citizen's dogfight module was first discussed as far back as 2013, showcased at PAX East in 2014, and released to the world as Arena Commander in June of that same year. And since then, it's had an update here and there, but it's been a long, strange trip set under the shadow of larger endeavors like Squadron 42 and the Persistent Universe.
Yeah, I really like doing giveaways, man. Like this feels pretty cool. Like to be able to make somebody's day like that, I think it's going to be awesome. Can't wait. Can't wait.
And recently, the new Arena Commander feature team was formed. A small but dedicated force of names and faces you might recognize, determined to give the oft-forgotten dogfight module some much-needed TLC, and a new roadmap of features that continues later this year and continues beyond.
Now, I know everyone's excited about this new flight model. However, I feel like there's going to be a lot of downsides to it, and maybe we'll get into it in this video. Maybe we'll talk about it more when I start playing the game. And I think it's easier, for me to show you, while I'm playing the game, why it's going to be, not that great. Especially for these big battles. I think that dogfight, that flight model that they want to put to the game right now, I think it works if you have a lot of one-on-one combat. But if you're trying to have a game where there's a lot of, interacting capital ships and smaller ships, I just think slowing everyone down that much is going to be almost too easy.
The Arena Commander feature team is actually the team that is in charge of, Arena Commander. Initially, the Arena Commander was actually owned within sort of the vehicle pillar of the company, and we hadn't had yet a team dedicated to it. This was actually the first game that we had rolled out, the first module, and we had called it the Dogfight module. And from there on out, it has now become Arena Commander. So very important for sort of the hardcore player base that is really, really into especially PvP sort of scenarios. That is really the main place and the main reason why Arena Commander continues to exist, and why it's really important for the company. Now, during the pandemic, we stopped working with Firesprite, so that, of course, had to change plans a little bit. There was those among Firesprite that still wanted to continue to work with Arena Commander, and they had come over to work for us at CIG, and those include, you know, Duncan Bunting. Woo! Now, this was important that we were able to put together a plan that would leverage all the art, all the access to content that we've got from Star Citizen, but be able to apply it within Arena Commander without having to remake everything. Also being able to leverage already game modes that exist to improve them in a much, much better quality of life way, and to be able to set us up to be able to scale Arena Commander into new content.
No audio. Can y'all not hear me? Can you not hear me? Or is it just him, no audio? Just gonna y'all let me know. I don't wanna keep the stream going if I just been sitting here talking and nobody can hear me. That'd be fucking terrible. I think I wanna move my second monitor up top. I wanna move it up here. Okay, it's just can up then. Okay, cool. Let's continue.
And most importantly is as we come to Death of a Spaceman, there's going to be things that you want to be able to test out without having to risk your life. So we can't just maintain the mode. We want to improve it and to re-excite people about it. So basically me and Duncan, we came together and came up with a plan for this year and for next to be able to do that. And we broke that into a couple stages. And one of those stages we want to talk about today as it's imminent.
The past is prologue. Okay.
So Arena Commander, through the years, kind of hasn't had much love as, like, say, the PU Persistent Universe. You know, in the beginning, it was all hands on deck, get that multiplayer, get that system flowing. And then a lot of the resources kind of moved off of that, including myself. I went straight to working on vehicles for the Persistent Universe. So Arena Commander was kind of always that background game where you can play a certain thing, but it was kind of stale in the sense that nothing new has come. What you have now is kind of what we had when I originally played. In fact, when I originally worked on Arena Commander, a lot of those same systems, when I went back to it now, are still there. So it's a lot of the old stuff, which works great, but it's not up to our today's standards.
So as flight modes have changed, we haven't updated the race mode. As combat modes have changed, we haven't really updated the swarm modes. As PvP has changed based on features, we need to keep up with that within Arena Commander. And that's a big reason why I think people don't play it, is that it has become somewhat disconnected from what Star Citizen and the Persistent Universe is. And it's imperative that as a simulation to that it is closer and more accurate to what's going on there, and thus means it has to keep up.
So we've always had these big ticket items, things to aim for, big flagship game modes and such. So with the small team...
This stuff is like very technical, so like I don't really know what's going on here. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I know everything. But from what I can get, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but they are trying to get Arena Commander in a place to where it mimics more closely the current flight model. Is that what I'm hearing? Is that what I'm getting out of this? Is that what you guys are getting out of this? People that have watched this already, am I on the right track here? Let me know.
That we've got, our focus, and this presentation that we put together when the team was first formed was a revival of Arena Commander, a 3-step process. And the first step that we're experiencing early this year is laying the foundation, where we're replacing a lot of the old, kind of worn, very old code, old data, with new updated stuff so that we can apply new features, new quality of life things, and really bring Arena Commander up to what the quality that you'd expect from Star Citizen.
So where do you start when you want to plan something like this and break up those stages? Well, you start at the start. You start at first impressions. So nobody wants to build what I like to call a castle in the sky. You've got to start by laying foundations and the very first impression of what people are experiencing within that game. So with that comes...
I will say that when you first get into Arena Commander, like if you don't know Star Citizen, like it's pretty confusing. Like the first time I got into Arena Commander, I didn't really know what I was doing inside Arena Commander because the UI was just kind of like not user friendly, and trying to load things onto your ship, trying to select the ship, it was a little bit confusing. And then you have to go ask people like how to use basically the UI there, so you can get into a fight, you know, or go fly or go race or do whatever. So it's good that they're updating this stuff. I am interested in, you know, what they have to offer in this video. Let's see what they got.
the front end.
The front end connects everything. It's our lobby system, it's how we get into matches, it's how we connect with friends, it's how we even make our private matches, which we'll have later this year.
One of the most important things that we're going to be able to do is remove all of the flash out of the front end. Now, this is a very, very legacy piece of technology that we had relied on for many years. But over the course of the years, and as the community might be aware, we've already changed over to an internal system called building blocks. What we'd like to do is bring our entire front end up to building blocks. We've brought
This guy right here is great at communicating. They need to get this guy on video more. I like his delivery. He's not using too much fluff. He's direct and straight to the point. I don't know if he's reading off of a script or if this is just off the dome. I'm pretty sure it's a script, but even so, his delivery is great. I feel like I'm getting very informed by watching this guy.
Of it, but not Arena Commander at all.
First iteration is going to be a focus on functionality, and we'll be iterating patch to patch to add more things that players have been asking for a number of years.
Yeah, so we're changing all of this front end to make it very easy to configure and get into your matches quickly.
The next step is I want to combine Star Marine and Arena Commander into one menu item, which is Arena Commander. Now, nothing's really changed. We've only just given you one button to go into an interface that you still have all the same access that you would have. So you don't have to...
I think like Arena Commander, like the, how can I put this? To make it simple, if they can make Arena Commander like Battlefield, where it's more of like, not necessarily like an arcade style shooter, but it just gives you like that quick, fast-paced gameplay where you have the FPS, you have the tanks, you have, you know, the ships, and you can go out and play that without having to like risk your stuff in the PU. I think that would be freaking fantastic, and I'd probably play that a lot, probably a lot more than the PU, just because you can go and get that interaction without having to risk losing your stuff. You know, I think that would be great. Maybe that's what they're trying to build towards in the future. He said earlier, like, they just can't come out and build a castle in the sky. They have to lay the steps. And this could be a good step towards that, in my opinion.
To go into a specific Star Marine sort of front end that would only get you to the given map, or then a specific Arena Commander front end. You go into the Arena Commander front end and you have access to Star Marine game modes, you have access to Star Marine maps, you have access to Arena Commander game modes, Arena Commander maps, and you have access to all the race modes and race maps.
Now, we're not taking away the Star Marine brand. That's still going to be the maker of these FPS games.
What's going on, brother?
But what you'll find now with this new front end is it's all under the Arena Commander simulation module.
So this is really important for us for that first impression, so that one, people know the sheer amount of content and stuff that's actually there, but second, we're also able to update it as time goes on, much, much easier.
For the past number of years, we've been slowly refactoring some of those old systems to bring them up to date so that we can add new features easily. One example would be the spawning module, which Mark Aben is currently working on.
There's huge potential in Arena Commander. We just have to fix what's there. Potential as in being, you know, Arena Commander's a fast-paced action-based. We get you into the game quick and easy. And if we fix some of the...
Oh, that's what I was just saying, but I want them to combine both of those game modes and make it like a Call of Duty, like Battlefield style first-person shooter that you can, like, you know what I'm saying, have that fast-paced combat. So I like what they're trying to build here. And I think that given like what this game is trying to do, right, if you think about like what they're trying to do with the persistent universe, and then if they can build this up, you would essentially have like 2 games in one. And then if you include like Squadron 42, which is not out yet, then you really have 3 games. that you can play, which I think is great.
The issues like when, loadout customization is a huge one.
Ship loadouts, selecting a
I was just saying this early in the video. Okay. Somebody tell Canap I understand what he's saying.
ships, rentals, etc., are a little bit cumbersome, and it's not very easy to do things like find other players for the game modes that you want on the servers that are going to be the best experience for you. So what we are planning to do is to make that experience a lot more user-friendly, so that you could instantly select your ship, select your players, select the game modes that you want to, and then find a worthwhile adversary in game modes that are head-to-head, or find other teammates that will help you achieve your goals in the cooperative game modes.
I want people to be able to get together to play this game in a very, very easy way. So that whether that is things like friends and lobby support, whether that's things like private matches, which is an imperative thing, we've got to get over to building blocks so we can implement private matches back for you guys, which you've asked for quite some time here.
Since we're also revamping a lot of our core systems, one of the things we want to change was this thing called a ban list. A long time ago, we have this kind of list of things that say you can't use this in Arena Commander, or you can't use this ship in Arena Commander. One of the biggest things we changed is make it very tagged based in a way that design can go, if I want to use this ship in this mode, I just have to tag these things and bam, it's used for that mode. So we want to give tools to design to say, you could use this, you can use this, and we can add an item.
This is probably like one of their better episodes so far, I think, because we're seeing like a lot of changes that are making to the game right now. I think this is great. I think Arena Commander is one of those modes where if they can do it and make it fun and make it simple and make it to where, like I said, it's like Call of Duty, it's like Battlefield, it's like any of these first-person shooters, I think they're going to have a huge win on their hands. Because the PvP FPS in this game, like when the servers are like good, it's like really good. So if they can like get all that together, and I don't know if Arena Commander and the PU are like on the same kind of like server, but if they can get like different dedicated servers just for Arena Commander and like all the other stuff, and then you could have like 100-player servers, I think that'd be fucking amazing.
Item or a weapon in a few seconds rather than a few minutes.
What we don't want people is guessing or having to really dig around to figure out what it is they want to be able to do. We want to guide them through that. So it's really important that we do make those front-end updates so that our first impression and our foundations are sound within this game. One of our maps within Arena Commander is Dying Star. So, building better battles, as Jared likes to put it. How are we going about that? Well, there was a couple updates. We had already made quite a large visual update, even during the pandemic, and as partnered with the legacy team. But now with the internal team, we wanted to take some further steps.
So last year, Dying Star underwent an artistic update, and it was quite visually stunning, very pretty. A lot of artists worked very hard on that. Unfortunately, the things that made it very, visually interesting, made for not so great gameplay, especially in the arena of like combat. One of the major issues that we got from our community is that it was just too bright.
Dying Retina. I know. I can already tell how this is going to be bad for combat. Because all you really need to do is just like keep your ship faced, like keep your back towards the star and try to fight the guy where he's trying to look where you are and he can't see you because it's too fucking bright.
And so you couldn't see where you were going or where other players were.
Gameplay-wise, we kind of missed the mark. There was a lot of heavy fog, things that made players actually motion sick. So we got a lot of feedback from the community, and we addressed those things straight away as soon as we came on board with the Arena Commander feature team.
Some of the things that we did to fix it were to reduce the opacity and the density of the really bright yellow gas cloud that is predominant in the level. That greatly helped to reduce the overall brightness of the level.
He went into the map, he reduced the density of the fog, size of the particles, and the way that the light affects the player's visor.
There were some performance issues with the level itself, and that was a result of some of the actual space station assets being used to generate the space station that was in Dying Star. And so our engineers discovered that there was actually AI within the closed-off hangar. Since they had no place to go, it caused a little bit of havoc in those levels.
How did you feel
That's
the first time you
hilarious.
heard about the
When I heard that, I was like,
Are you legally blind from playing Dying Star? Hold on, guys, I got a text. No, I can reply to that later. That's not too crazy.
well, that explains it.
While it's completely invisible to the player,
Or they can just give us like space sunglasses. You know, give us some like lost tech. Like put some tint on the front of my visor.
it really tanked our FPS.
So while these first Dying Star improvements that you're seeing are mainly performance related and visuals as well, we'll be coming in right behind that with some exciting gameplay improvements that you guys should stay tuned for. Oh, geez, that's maybe too much. Was that too much? So I talked about two sort of core gameplay elements. I talked about sort of the flight and fight, and then I talked about FPS. But what I haven't really addressed is racing, which is flight, period.
Racing is a dangerous sport, especially when you've got 6 degrees of freedom, you're flying around a hunk of a ship, you're probably going to die. So to perfect your skills, you need to do it in Arena Commander.
Our race mode in Arena Commander is one of those modules that were kind of built in the early days when I started working here. And a lot of the core infrastructure is roughly the same of what
Yeah, that race mode is like, it's really hard to play. It's difficult.
we had originally.
So the New Horizon maps, they've been in since the implementation of racing, and they've been pretty much untouched. There's been some bug fixes, some quality of life improvements.
We hadn't updated those race maps in a long time. A great example was, you know, the current race map that was in place, it looked like it was an atmosphere, but the way it actually flew was as if we were completely zero-G.
So what we've done now is we've got the real planet, Green 3 of the Ellis system, which is an Earth-like, beautiful, holiday-like planet, where the races will now take place in atmosphere where they should be.
So they any of the benefits we get from the racetrack being on a real planet, such as gravity and atmosphere, actually affect the race now.
That's good. This shit looks hard as hell to do. But I would imagine like if you can like get really good at racing, it would improve like your flight skills like so much.
you fly down?
You can fly down to the planet if you want, you're not going to complete the race. So our Arena Commander team is very small, we actually don't have artists, but one place that we have countless number of locations, incredibly beautiful locations, is the PU. It just makes sense. Take those locations from the PU and put them in Arena Commander. Some might think that might be a difficult task, it's actually not. The designers have worked out a perfect workflow along with Mark, making some adjustments to how we spawn object containers, and we're able to take PU locations into Arena Commander pretty fast.
Right now I'm working on is taking racetrack from the PU and transferring them into the Arena Commander. So what I do is basically with the PU getting
Those look
racetrack, I would take those
I'm all trying to
racetracks
fly.
and with the new race
my
refactor that
sticks
we have,
ready to
I
go.
can transfer them into the Arena Commander.
Whatever you see in PU is what you see in AC. So whenever we make improvements to things like the actual track that you see in PU, we get the benefits of those improvements. The big benefit is, though, that since they are equal, you get to practice in AC the skills that it takes to become a quick racer and really excel at those tracks without the consequences of like permanent death.
So we can do that for racing, we can do that for FPS combat, we can do that for dogfighting locations like Jericho Station, which will also be coming with this patch.
Now,
That's
there was some
dope.
inspiration that was brought definitely from the community, and myself and Duncan had seen a lot of the messaging that was
This is gonna be sick. If they can get this right, this is gonna be sick.
out there. There was a super active community within racing, and they were basically setting up all the new structure for themselves. And it always seemed to be like a very obvious thing that we could do to support this was to be able to bring PU level type content and tracks into Arena Commander to fulfill that content.
Because if they can do this, right, it'll be easy for them to bring in like other locations to where you can combine, like I said, FPS. You can combine the ship gameplay, the tanks, the other vehicles there in the game, to make like a really good fast-paced, kind of like a AAA first-person Call of Duty Battlefield game experience.
Content. And since the time that we had made racing so many years ago, we've since gotten planets, we've since gotten atmospheric flight, we've gotten a bunch of different flight modes. So racing needs to keep up with basically the rest of the game. To make it relevant to everything that's going on within the Persistent Universe, we need to bring Persistent Universe locations, especially great racetracks.
Like this track right here would be a great FPS, kind of like Battlefield like location, because you have like all the hills, you have all the slopes. There's plenty of places where you can get like natural cover where you're trying to push up to an objective. Like they can do so much. They can do so much, in my opinion.
That the community has come up with, that we have come up with into Arena Commander itself, so that we can deliver that to you in a more...
Even this would be like one of those good like locations to have, like a tank fight. You could have like different locations where you have to like take over the flag, take over the building. Like I said, they could do so much. They could do a lot. And I think that they should. Okay, they have to lay that foundation. Let's give them the opportunity to lay that foundation. And then once it's ready, they should give us the total package of dogfighting, FPS, and ground vehicle gameplay. I think it's going to be amazing.
Concise 30-minute session that you could do that practice with, but it'd be completely relevant to the larger existence of the Persistent Universe. So we take those locations into Arena Commander so that those are much more accurate and much more relevant to what you're doing.
Overall, I'm so happy with the progress the Arena Commander team has made. We went from the very small team with a lot of passion, and we've got a pretty solid plan here on how we can...
I feel like Arena Commander is going to be like almost like its own game if they can like make this right. I know I keep pausing the video because I'm getting kind of excited about it now, but Arena Commander can really be like its own game separate from Star Citizen, right? I hope they don't start trying to sell it as its own game, but it could really be like its own separate thing. And I think that there's a lot of potential in this, and I think that they are trying to give this, or let Arena Commander live up to the potential that it could be, which I think is great. I think it's going to be awesome.
Revitalize Arena Commander throughout this year. We're going to be committed to improving Arena Commander throughout the year, throughout the next year. We're targeting 12 new racetracks, including the 3 you're familiar with from the New Horizons Speedway. We are adding a new dogfighting map, Jericho Station, and we are targeting a lot of quality of life improvements, reworks to some vital systems that you may not see changes on the surface, but they are vital behind the scenes for us to make more changes throughout this year.
So now you've seen what the Arena Commander feature team is up to, and we thought it was important that we came to the community and talked about our plans a little bit. Now, I've learned my lesson. I'm not about to give, for out there dates or too much expectation in place, but we did want you to know what the plans are and that we are actively working on it right now. So you can expect that, you'll see some great updates. And one really important thing that we've actually put in place as well is that we've discussed with our release planners. We've now got a separate patch notes for Arena Commander. So Arena Commander is going to be reported just a little bit alongside Star Citizen, but not embedded within the patch notes, so that it's a little bit easier for you guys to see exactly what's happened with your...
That's actually really nice for them to do, to put those patch notes to the side a little bit so that people don't have to like dive through. If they're looking specifically for Arena Commander stuff, that's actually very nice and thoughtful, I think. I'm not trying to white knight for CIG, but gotta say that's a nice thing. Because like Star Citizen is one thing, Arena Commander is another thing. Like give them their own separate little updates. Love it.
Arena Commander patch to patch, because though we've talked about some specifics in this, there's lots of little things that, you know, aren't worth necessarily talking about on video, but bugs that are fixed that, hey, maybe bothered people for years that have been addressed since then. So we're really happy to be able to talk to you guys about what's going on with Arena Commander feature team, and look forward to the rest of the year.
So, what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that Arena Commander is finally getting the front and back end fixes needed to add more ships and return things like private custom matches. That the existing racing modules are finally getting remade with the same atmospheric physics as the PU. And that each one of the new PU racetracks will make their way into Arena Commander when the first new drop is released later this year. Now, don't forget that the Lunar New Year festivities are coming to an end, so don't miss out on your last chance to participate if you haven't already. And check out last week's Star Citizen Live for even more information about the upcoming Alpha 318. And then keep your eyes on the RSI website and socials for info on its forthcoming.
Okay, he's just doing the outros of the video. We can move on. That looks good. We got Star Citizen Live here. This one's an hour long. I don't know if I'm going to watch this whole thing or not, because I do want to play the game. I do want to get on here and play. So I don't know if we're going to do the whole thing, but let's just watch a little bit of it. Kind of get the gist of what they're trying to do here. I don't want to be like one of those streamers that talks about Star Citizen more than they play it. I want to play it with you guys.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Star Citizen Live, the mission feature team. I'm your host, Jared Huckabee, and if you've never seen Star Citizen Live before, it's where we take about an hour out of the end of our week, and we hang out with some of our developers, we chat, we shoot the... Oh, I don't want to use my one that early in the show. We shoot the stuff, and we talk about the stuff that's been worked on, being worked on, and will be worked on, and stuff like that. On today's show, we are proud and honored. Thinking about
How far in is that? How far in is that? I might just go there and just listen to that. That sounds spicy.
Conversation we had before. I'm very
I might start calling him Spicy Mike now.
very honored to have members of the mission feature team on the show. Let's meet Ed and Elliot and Lars and James. And I remembered all four. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hello. Yeah, it's all right.
We were just talking.
This dude right here, I'm starting shit right now, guys. Like, dude, if you're like in your mid-30s, dyeing your hair these kind of colors, don't do it. This dude looks goofy as a motherfucker right now. I get it. It's your life. Do what you want. Do what you want with your life. But if you show up here with some blue hair looking like Bulma from Dragon Ball Z, I'm gonna clown on you. Sorry. You're gonna get clowned on.
About the
Oh, they were talking about the part where they were talking about Salty Mike.
about how all those when you're doing like the Nintendo Directs and stuff. I don't mean
E3.
not just Nintendo, but E3 anything like this. They're always like, I'm very honored to be here and blah 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 blah. So it got in my head.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I ruined your take.
If I were professional, I could have avoided it. But I'm not. So yeah, members of the mission feature team. You guys.
Guys, this motherfucker with the blue hair is throwing me off right now. He's throwing me all the way off. Because it's like everyone else looks normal. Everyone else looks normal. You have this
guys make
guy here with blue
the
hair.
features that.
And I'm sure he's like a nice guy, but it's just like, bro, like why the fuck would you dye your hair blue? Like,
are used in the missions.
Way to butcher us.
like I could see, okay, guys. I could see if he was like very flamboyant and he had blue hair, right? But this guy's dressed like a normal guy, but he has this blue hair. It's around the 30-minute mark, I think. And again, around 20 minutes later. All right, we'll try to get to the Salty Mike thing. We'll try to get there. Effort, let's just go there. we'll have some context with it. So I'm gonna forward it to about 18 minutes or so.
It can be used in so many different ways because obviously the PU is like a sandbox. You know, you want to be able to just plonk this down wherever you want. You know, you want to make interesting locations.
In the debug thing, when we're playing, like, so I'm testing a UGF mission, or I'm waiting for the shuttle because I'm testing something, and I'm stood there, and then like lads like, hey, you got a second? Or Jane's like, you got a second? And I go over to them, and then I come back, and I haven't turned God mode on, which will stop me from dying, and all of a sudden my
not good.
Yeah, exactly. I'm terrible. My food and my hydration levels are gone to 0. So my guy is having the worst time of his life. He can't see anything. I can't hear anything. And then I'm like, oh, I'll put on God mode and then I do my bug. But then every time afterwards when I log in, my guy is still dying of hydration permanently until I actually purge the server and restart. So I'm stuck in that hellscape of...
So basically your guy is 44 years old.
Yeah.
I think the funniest thing that happened to me was during time trials prototyping, because of persistence coming in and I didn't, you know, realize what it was going to do. I'd logged out prior, like mid-race, you know, went away for my lunch. I came back to record a video for an internal review kind of thing. Thought I was doing really good in this race. I was getting on time for the platinum. And then all of a sudden, my wreckage was just at the end of the race, and I just smashed straight into myself, which, you know, ended my race prematurely.
That wreck from the previous plan.
Yeah.
On Korea, we actually were debugging it, and all of a sudden we fly in, and there's 3 of the chief of security. They're super bosses. They're super tanky. So I come in there with a pistol just to test something, and there's 3 of them. Like, there he is, and I just got lit up instantly. It's like, that's a problem.
Yeah. Zeezer in chat is like, I wonder who Jared was referring to. I was referring to me. I'm the one that's constantly dehydrated and exhausted. All right, so we've only got a few minutes left. Let's talk about plans for the future. I want specific dates.
Oh no!
What's next for the mission feature? We know investigations are in the mix.
Yes.
Somewhere developing investigations. Let's just follow up on that real quick. How's that going?
Yeah, it's going well. We're still at the stage we're working very closely with narrative. Because they might be making a story and it might have a certain scenario in it that I've not considered on the system side that I have to like go reconsider. For example, one of the stories that Adam, one of the narrative people, had made up, he just added a little note is like set dressing. There are 2 like cocktail glasses on the side of the pool, and I'm like, I didn't think about spawning set dressing. I should probably spawn set dressing. So then I have to update the thing, but that's all part of the iteration. That's why it's good to get the stories first, because then I know, right, my system will achieve everything here. So yeah, investigation's going well.
Cool. What else are you guys working on?
Salvage missions at the moment.
Salvage missions.
So yeah, we wanted a way to kind of show the new salvage mechanic. So yeah, I'm currently working on some different legalities and versions.
Go over the 3 of them.
Sure. So there's a legal version where we have a new company that's being made. I'm not sure if I can call it. It's called Adagio, and they're literally just salvage contracts. So they have just have a bunch of salvage, and they sell you the rights to a piece of salvage. Like, you pay us like X amount of credits or UEC, and then like that's like, here's your lot number. You can go get it there, and then you fly over, and then it's yours to keep. And it's kind of in the safe area of this point, like a Lagrange point, where they kind of towed it there. And then there's the illegal version where basically another illegal corporation, a new one called the Tar Pits, they're like, well, they hear about salvage, and they're like, well, you can go there, but we know that security forces are going there to investigate what happened. You have an hour. Good luck. And then you basically have to race there, and once you're there, like, you have an hour. You have a timer on screen, and if you're staying there too long, well, then all of a sudden, like, you know, fighters come in, or like other investigative forces, and if you're in a vulture, for example, well, is not really good at combat. And we're actually trying to get a mission giver, which I won't spoil who it is, so have fun trying to discover that. But a new mission giver, we're gonna give him or her some love, and they're gonna actually do a kind of a mini rush where it's like, well, there's been a massive battle somewhere in the middle of space. There's a lot of money to be made, but it's an open contract, so here you go, but you might find people, and then we're really trying to have emergent gameplay, community focus, so it could be 3 soldiers that are like all happily salvaging away, and then an org is like, yeah, this is our salvage now. And they come in with like a reclaimer and like a whole combat suite. It's like, okay, kids, move aside, this is ours now.
Just to Every time there's a question about a mystery mission giver, chat goes, Tessa! Tessa's coming back.
Who's Tessa?
It's not Tessa. These guys don't know who Tessa is.
Tessa?
That predates these guys.
Not true.
I wasn't even born.
Ed knows who.
Ed knows.
Ed knows who Tessa is, but it's not Tessa. They've got a thing for her. Her time will come eventually. It's actually 3 Picos in a trench coat. So I'll spoil it.
Stacked on top of each other.
So,
Exactly.
3 Picos in a trench coat.
what about you, James?
Sounds funny.
What's in your future?
I think at the moment mine's top secret until it gets a bit of a director sign off. But I'm still keeping an eye on time trials as well. The big thing for us at the moment is there's a lot of data coming in for our analytics. So everyone keep playing them because we need that data. We really need that data. So we can make the platinums harder. We can see if people are crashing. We can, we get all kinds of data from that and which is the most popular ships. That all leads us into, helping us with our design decisions down the line. But that's what I'm maintaining at the minute.
Yep.
Yeah, what you had?
Well, I'm allowed to talk about that. We have planned a new dynamic event, which will be like classic racing. So it'll be like lap-based racing, and it'll be multiplayer. So time trials is single you against the clock, whereas this will be like people together racing together.
A racing dynamic event.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
This is going to be like pod racing for Star Wars. If they're about to make Star Wars pod racing, that's about to be legit. Can we shoot each other when we fly? Is it an armistice? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, exactly. And the plan is to have we'd have maybe 2 new ship tracks and maybe a ground race in there as a mix, and then we'd also limit it so that you'd have only specific ships or ship would be allowed to race on the race day. Yeah, and
you
what
guys are
else?
also working on there's
well,
mining missions to go along with the salvage missions.
The mining missions are what we're calling resource rush. Essentially, once again,
Gambling, off-track betting. That would be fun. I would be down for some of that. Y'all should bet on me.
we give you, you're buying the rights to a location that's far out, and there's going to be like an asteroid cluster gas cloud thingy, and we spawn a bunch of minables in there, and essentially what it is that each player can buy the rights to go there, and then they have a finite amount of spawned resources that they have to mine. Now, we make the contract open, so it could be Salty Mike, but I don't think he'll last long. It could be Burks going in and everyone fighting.
He's just really bad, isn't he?
He's terrible. I don't know why he still plays the game, but I've got no clue.
There's absolutely no reason for us to pick on Salty Mike today. I mean, after all, he's a CIG shill, and we secretly pay him under the table.
Pay him for what? He can't play the game.
Today. I'm so sorry, Salty Mike. And the
That's hilarious.
So the mining missions are, also we talked about, making multiple uses of things.
Salty Mike's time for you to hit up Jonathan Winter so you can get good at combat. You can't let them put that disrespect in your name, bro. Damn.
Obviously, a lot of the same salvage kind of underlying tech for that stuff. And then in the monthly report, this will be the last thing we talk about before we let you go, there was some talk about researching defend your ship.
Oh, yeah.
It's like around this time, 20 minutes later.
Financial director.
Yeah. Well, I find I only run into Simon when I've done something expensive and bad. Yep. My only interaction with Simon has to come with like, you're building a
They straight
spaceship.
violated Salty Mike.
I'm like, hi Simon. Yes, we're building a spaceship. Really? I'm like, yeah.
I feel I'm partly responsible for that as well, because I used to sort of steal his pocket money when he was a kid, so I think that drove him into accountancy. It's the only career he could go for.
Are there any other elms this year I don't know about?
Well, Jamie was here for a while.
My younger brother was QA for a summer, wasn't he, before we exiled him to Australia.
And New Zealand. He's been in New Zealand
way
for the last
beyond
5
that.
years.
Didn't cut it.
So,
can claim the title of Stanton 7's champion. Sign-ups begin soon. Get your crew together and join us for the Stanton 7. You won't want to miss it.
And we're back. That was a little commercial for the upcoming Stanton 7 race. It's thrown by our friends over at Atmo Esports. That's an old trailer from like 2 years ago. I went looking to find one, and the last one was 2 years ago. I have no idea if Bad Token is still their sponsor or not. If they're not, sorry, I wanted to promote the event. So I took the only trailer I could find online. So there you go. Before we get to
a rush mode like from Battlefield, bro, who you kidding? Rush was like one of my favorite game modes in Battlefield, bro.
For next, yes, I want to start. I want to do a thing. I get messages on Spectrum and Twitter. People are always asking about the random stuff that are around us that make up our set. I want to take a minute to showcase something that you may not otherwise have noticed or whatnot each week. This week, I want to talk to you about this. Do we have my close-up? This is Hunter, the Star Citizen comic by Adrian Atisor. This is actually a fully illustrated comic set in the Star Citizen universe. It's written and drawn by one of the OG Star Citizen backers, a guy named Adrian Atisor.
That's dope.
This was produced in conjunction with Crash Core, a lovely org out of Germany.
So is this going to be like official lore, or is it just going to be like just something that somebody made up?
Shout out to Crash Core. And it was originally printed up and given away at our Gamescom 2015 event. You can see the Cologne Cathedral here depicted in the futuristic year of 2945. So these are very limited. You can't get them anymore. I'm amazed mine still survives, but it's very close to my heart. And one of the first things I got to really put in motion here when I got hired into Star Citizen. So shout out to 80 if you're watching. I haven't talked to you in a while. All right. Joining us on the show now, in the back half of the show, we like to, we do all the information and the business in the front, and then we have the party in the back. We're essentially the mullet of Star Citizen. Joining us for the mullet is Robbie Elms.
They should call this part of Star Citizen like their Star Citizen Live the mullet, just for that. I think that's great.
Hi, Robbie.
Hey, everyone.
He almost has a mullet.
And Nick Elms, no relation.
No
relation at all. No association.
So, Robbie and Nick, who are you and what do you do for CIG?
Well, I'm Nick Elms. I am a creative director now responsible for the flight side of Squadron 42. And
I'm Robbie Elms. I'm the lead designer on Squadron 42, specifically the flight sections.
Gotcha. Now, this is where I do the biggest disclaimer I'm going to do. We are not talking about Squadron 42 today.
Sworn to secrecy.
Hey, no, quiet from the peanut gallery. There's no conversation about Squadron 42. That's not what we're here about. If you're upset, send your letters to Salty Mike somewhere in Florida. You were on the show. Man. You were on the show this week because you're folks that we don't get to see a lot of, to talk a lot of. But
that's pretty good. That's pretty good. They kind of went at him a little bit. They just know that the boy's salty. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? They just know that he's salty. Salty Mike. And you need to stop being so damn salty. He should be Spicy Mike. Spicy Mike sounds more fun. Let's go ahead and get into this PTU though. So they put out a new build of the PTU, right? And then the train stopped working. So when I come in, I normally spawn on area 18. And the trains weren't working, so you're essentially stuck at the living area. So I had to like reset my PTU account so I can be respawned at Orson because that's the only place where the trains are working. So now finally we're about to get into this game. I woke up and watched this Twitch stream for a minute. He got so mad at his chat for talking about the Chinese spy balloon. Who was that? Spicy Mike? Why would he get mad about it? Does he live out there where the balloon is? Why would he get mad about that? Then you go shoot that shit down. He's getting mad on suggestions and was telling everyone in a rather upset tone, if you don't work for the government, I don't want to hear your opinions. I mean, did he have an opinion about it, and does he work for the government? I mean, Speed Fragger, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Make sure to like the video. So why would he talk about it but not want to hear the opinions of his own chat? Is he one of those people that where he always has to be right about something? Is that what it is? I don't know, maybe, man. If you like the video, comment down below on the video, you know, you'll have a chance. After I get done with the video, I'll actually put the comment and put the rules on there in the pinned comment so you guys will know exactly how the giveaway is going to go. That way there's no confusion. Oh, Morocco, wow. Welcome to the stream. Comment on this video. This video that we're watching right now. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Well, I've never seen like a wait time for the PTU. Let me see if I can exit out real quick and go back in. It's a login timeout. Yeah, but I don't understand why he's so upset about a video game though. Like if this game gets to the point to where it's like making me that emotional, like I'll just stop playing it. Like I don't understand why people get so upset about a game. Yeah, Spaceport's always giving out good information. I don't like waiting with the PT will be open, so they need to do more server stress testing. Yeah, it needs a lot more. They really got to fix all that back end stuff. The thing that's really having the most issues at. Notice they didn't say anything about Grumpy Eye. Pretty sure CIG hates them. Yeah, I just like if a game like it's not living up to like what I want the game to be, I'll just find something else to play and just be happy and not sit here and be miserable playing something that I claim I don't like. To me, like the ideology doesn't make any sense to me. You know, that's why it's hard for me to make videos about being negative about this game in a way, because I understand like, hey, look, if the game is bothering me so much, I can go do something else. Well, right now their biggest roadblock is their Austin studio, which is supposed to be releasing like a hot fix for this patch. That studio, they weren't working because they had like an ice storm, I guess, or like some really cold weather. So they had no power in Austin. So that may hold them up for a couple more days. It is. I try to look at the bright side of things. I try to always keep myself more neutral on the positive side, because even though like negativity sells, if I start like making negative like type of content, then I have to like play a character, and I just don't want to do that. I just want to be real. I just want to be me. I want to play games. I want to build my cars and have fun with you guys. How dare you not be unreasonably emotionally invested in an unfinished video game? Right? How dare me? How dare I? I don't think we're getting the PTU, guys. So, yeah, let's just why fret the bad stuff? You know what I'm saying? Because like, in all honesty, there aren't really that many bugs that break the game like all that bad. I don't even know what Roblox is, bro. I have no idea what that shit is. I was thinking about getting the Harry Potter game. Hop onto the regular PU for a little bit. I haven't been on live for a minute. I haven't dropped... Guys, it's been like weeks since I've dropped an A2 bomb. I'm surprised I didn't have withdrawals from that. I know I do. I do need to drop some bombs. I guess if I was balling out of control, right? Two ships that I would actually buy with money. It's the A2 and the FHC Lightning. Those are the only other two ships that I would actually buy with money, because the FHC Lightning is just cool. And the A2 is just like, that's my baby. That's the ship that was made for me. Like, CIG made that ship specifically for me. It's like Minecraft. I couldn't get into Minecraft, man. Like, the idea of it's cool, but I don't like the whole square block shit. I couldn't get into it. I tried, but I couldn't do it. I have no idea where I'm gonna be at. Fuck, I'm on Orson? What the fuck? Why am I here? Oh, the Siege of Orson, that's why I was here. Yeah, those were dope. I need to get me a voice box too. Oh God. No, don't leave me. My frame rates won't let me get there quick enough. Can I make it? Barely. Oh, that's dope.
Approaching next station. If this is your stop, please prepare to disembark. Please use caution while the platform. Last call for passengers. The shuttle is preparing to depart. And keep a safe distance from the edge. Thank you. Please clear the hatch. Shuttle will be departing.
I wonder if my A2's actually here.
Approaching next station. If this is your stop, please prepare to disembark.
Dude, trust me, it's gonna be good for you, man. You're gonna see like a change in your face. Like not drinking all that sugar. Your face is gonna slim down like a lot. Oh, I didn't lose my stuff when I 30K'd. Well, maybe because I wasn't dead yet.
The next shuttle is approaching the station.
6 foot 165. That's not a bad weight though.
Welcome to the ASOP vehicle retrieval system.
Orson has to offer. With so much to see and do, Crusader is a journey worth making.
That's a cool one. I'll just flow there and get it.
Stand by. Your vehicle has been delivered to the following locations.
It's just easier for me to fly the crew of one than to claim it. It's quicker for me to go there. Nice. Oops, wrong button. We're gonna need to refuel because it's gonna take us the whole tank just to get out of Orson.
Systems on. Hydrogen fuel 100%. Quantum fuel 100%.
You are clear to launch.
Looking for things similar to semi-metals, heavy metal.
Thank you, and please visit again.
What's going on here today? Nothing? I would like to also see more atmospheric battles on Orson. That'd be dope too. Don't miss this.
Quantum travel engaged. Quantum travel complete. 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 Landing gear down.
Give me landing bay already.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
These frames are bad. Trying to do anything at speed. Well, there's that. That's hilarious. I think I'm gonna be back on Orson. Pretty sure. Pretty sure I'm back on Orson. Rip. God, what is today, man? Fuck. We could do that all over again. I know. I wish it did. That come in handy. So we don't have to play the Orison tram simulator. Yeah, this might be a problem. Can I walk out here? Let's test for science. Oh yeah, I can. Okay. It's okay. That could have went a lot worse.
Last call for passengers. The shuttle is preparing to depart.
Somebody subbed to the channel. Thank you, whoever that was that subbed. Hello. How's it going? I was trying to sit next to you, but I couldn't. Hey, where are you going? How's it going? Got a mic? Whoa.
Approaching next station. If this is your stop, please prepare to disembark.
Are you getting off here or what?
The next shuttle is call for passengers. The shuttle is preparing to depart. Thank you.
Bye. It was nice not talking to you.
Please clear the hatch. Shuttle will be departing. Attention.
Oh, welcome back. That's how you feel? That's how you feel for real? Look, I can't throw hands on your bitch ass, bro. I'll whip your ass in this train. Look, we can't fight up in here. Jump on you. No, I don't need to work on my pickup game. I don't play games with women. That's childish.
Approaching next station. If this is your stop,
It's not a
please
game to
prepare
me.
to disembark. The next shuttle for passengers. The shuttle is preparing to depart. Please clear the hatch. Missed your shuttle? Not a problem. Another shuttle will be along shortly. At Orison Skyway Shuttle Service, more flights means less worries. The next shuttle is approaching the station.
Ready to reset your expectations from the everyday
Flight
to the
status and
highest.
hangar information may change. Be sure to double-check flight information on your MobiGlass or one of the conveniently located information signs throughout the terminal.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
How do I have a Pisces? The hell? The fuck did I get all these ships? I don't have a Pisces. Oh yeah, because I bought that in the game. Oops.
Each room comes with the softest linens. The staff treated me so well, and the accommodations were so thoughtfully considered that it was like having a vacation for my vacation. Why would you ever rent a cab from anyone
Vehicle
else?
selected.
Green
Stand
circle.
by.
Stay a while.
Your vehicle has been delivered to the following location. Please visit us again. Goodbye.
I don't know what the new subship is. It's not a Corsair, I don't care. Oh god, Hangar 7, not Hangar 6. Guys, I have a feeling this game might crash soon, or the stream might crash. I'm getting the encoding error, so just so you guys know. If it stops abruptly, it's not me.